Is Giannis the new Nick Anderson?
You're correcting yourself as you speak.
And I don't know if you know about the Western Conference. There's a lot of good players in it.
They don't know where they're going.
Turns into a pumpkin any day now. Welcome to another exciting episode of Please Dunk Responsibly. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Rice. With me, as always, my co-host,
Phil Webster.
All right. We are late.
We are super late. Sorry about that, guys.
No, it happens. You know, COVID-19, everybody thinks that you just got all the time in the world, but it turns out that the small things matter more.
Yes, a lot of the times you keep trying to push them away, and eventually they just fall all over you, and you have to take care of them.
Yeah. Life comes at you pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you might miss recording a podcast.
Yes. All right. Well, we're back though. We're back.
We're back.
We're in it. Plenty of beer to talk about. We have the California craft beer week just ended, and you got Bistro winners, and we got NBA All-Star Game talk, so awesome.
That's right. What we're going to do here, we're going to talk about basketball and beer. That's the theme of the show. We're going to compare players to beers, teams to breweries, eras to styles. It's fun. You got ones you want us to talk about, feel free to hit us up, slide into our GMs, hashtag slide into our GMs, with your players you want compared, or your beers, whatever you want to do, we'll do them.
Yes.
And this is completely free form. It's going to be great. You're going to have a good time. You're going to learn about current basketball stuff, past basketball stuff, some beer stuff. I think we should start with what beers we're drinking. Phil, I'll start with you. What do you got on your end?
Oh, yes. Well, I know we were talking about the Bistro, which we're going to get to, and triple IPAs and double IPAs are their specialty when they do the Bistro medals. And we're drinking Personal Space Invaders by Bike Dog, which is their triple IPA that they brought this year. I think it's fantastic. It's fruity, smooth, very sneaky, unbelievable, taste and flavor for a triple, and it doesn't seem like it's going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I had to look at it and be like, it's 2021. We're talking about the 2020-2021 season of the NBA basketball.
Oh, yes. Got to bring that up.
Got to bring it up. We also had a spot for it.
Hashtag 2020-2021.
But since we are in 2020-2021 basketball and beer season, I have to ask the question. This Personal Space Invaders is 9.8%. Is that a triple IPA in 2020-2021?
In 2020, 2021, yes, I would say that it's your stretch 4. It's very much like a 6'7", 6'8" power forward. Doesn't quite make sense, but he's efficient.
Yeah, it's Charles Barkley. It's going to the hole. It's doing more damage than you'd think. There, that's how it works. That's easy. We already got our basketball and beer combo. We did it
right there.
Out the gate.
Look how good are we?
Yeah.
How good are we?
We're on episode 6 or something. We're just steamrolling this thing.
Bang, bang, bang.
We'll be back tomorrow. We're just going to knock these things out. We're going to touch on every player in NBA history at this point.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, the way we're going drinking beers, yes, we will. Yeah. Hopefully.
Now I do have a confession, Phil. Earlier this week, we were going to record an episode before life reared its ugly head, and I already drank the Personal Space Invaders, so I am drinking
sneaky bastard.
A different beer, completely different, cheated real hard, went a completely different direction. I'm drinking Henhouse Brewing's.
Oh, I love them.
A Good Night's Rest, Dark Saison. A Winter
Interesting.
Saison.
Tell me about that beer, Ben.
Well, let me tell you about it. They told me about it on the can. After an honest day's work, we all could use a good night's rest. Our Saison, built for wintertime, dark, chocolatey malt mingles with our beloved French Saison yeast to create notes of cola and dried cherry. So yeah, that is accurate. It's very effervescent up front, which is a little bit weird to me. And then the chocolate malt, it's a weird thing to hear the word Saison and not get grassy, dirty barnyard. So it took some getting used to.
You want funk. You want some funk. Usually it's not roasty darkness that could kind of like overpower it.
So it's taken some getting used to, but fortunately I've had the time, and
no. So does it taste like cherry cola? Is that what we're getting at here?
It kind of does. That it's very effervescent, very carbonation heavy. So it's good. It's just not what I was expecting from a saison at all.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that style.
Yeah,
is a dark saison, and that's awesome. I mean, that's awesome. That's what I love about In-House, and a lot of our other also cool friends of the podcast breweries is that they take chances. They're beer nerds. They love seeing what happens when other things happen and tasting other people's beers and getting inspired. Like they're great. They're great on the list.
Yep. Proud to have it. Very excited. It's good beer. Check it out.
Awesome.
Hen House. Good brewery.
Hen House.
Check it out. It's no big deal. I was talking to him last week, on their Instagram Live.
The podcast drop.
Yeah, no big deal. Putting in work. It's the least watched episode they've done in the last month. Okay.
I peeked in for a little while. It was fun.
I don't like saying hello to people on Instagram Live. It seems weird to me.
It does. It's very one-sided. I just like to note that I was there, but then it's like, I don't want people screaming me out. I don't need shout-outs. I just I'm here watching, just so you know, just in the corner of your eye. That's it. No shout-outs.
Yeah. But then when somebody shouts out you feel like an asshole when you don't say anything back.
Yeah, because what are you supposed to say? You have to have one-sided conversation. It's very weird. Don't do it.
It was the worst. All right. It was a fun conversation, but people saying comments, it's the word. I don't like seeing people pop in there. Anyway, the point is, basketball. It's happening. It's happened for decades. Phil, what are we seeing out there? Let's the new segment we're calling From the Field. Oh, yeah. Sound effect.
Yeah, we're waiting for sound effects. Anybody wants to draw sound effects, let us know. We were talking about there's obviously trade deadlines coming up at the end of the month. I know a lot of teams. Obviously, Beal's been on the radar for a while. Blake Griffin, your favorite, one of your hidden favorite players, just can't let go of. He's on the trading block. I ran a couple things. He's easily tradable because even with his contract, his points per game, because Detroit's not really playing him, is kind of making most trades in the trade machine work. As long as you can match the money, it doesn't seem like it doesn't make sense. Obviously, as being a Kings fan, I went ahead and saw what could I possibly get rid of for that amount, and it was.
Well, I know. First of all, you're throwing in Buddy Hield, and you're like, I don't need
definitely.
the money.
I'm trying to get rid of this money. Buddy Hield is a top paid player this year. He would help match, but then I have to get rid of one more guy. So it would have to either be Corey Joseph, who is also necessarily not needed, and then you have with them having Halliburton playing so well, you put him in the starting lineup, or you just kind of shift some people around. Maybe you have Barnes come down. I would like to get rid of Bagley, but the money doesn't quite work.
Really?
He's only making about $7. Yeah, he's only making about $7 million. So he's not quite there, and you need an extra like $8 to $10 million to make it work. And so it was close, but I think it's just because of how much over the salary cap the Pistons are in comparison to the Kings. But that's all I was able to do in like the last 30, like I checked 30 minutes. I didn't spend a lot of time trying to make a ton of deals.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I could see that happening. I know, or there could definitely be a third team in there
at this point.
Want to get something. Yeah, I would assume like the Lakers. Somebody's going to want to add something onto the Nets. You would assume maybe a buyout, something like that. That could also happen with Blake Griffin, that he could just end up taking a buyout and then he can go anywhere. So, that'll be interesting to see. And he's definitely probably going to go to a contender. But where does he go? But he's got that outside range. He's not trying to dunk on people as much anymore. He's pretty useful. Talk about another undersized power forward. He's your guy who can kind of hit everything. He's kind of evolved his game. I think it's just he went to absolute desert island of like they don't know where they're going, and he's old, and they want to get young and find out what they have, and that's Detroit. And every word, unfortunately.
I'm trying to come up with a trade, but it's really hating me.
Yeah.
All right, so the grist of it here, I'm going to try to get Blake Griffin gone, right?
Yes, Blake Griffin is gone.
I need to get $20 million more. Oh boy, this might not work out at all. Nope, that's not what I want.
know Clippers, I hear, is another one, but I feel like that only happens again. That's if a buyout happens. Yeah, Lakers, I think, happens buyout. Like, somebody on the Eastern Conference, but I think he's going to go back west, whatever he does. I'm hoping it's onto a younger team who has a chance. The Kings were kind of hot there for a second. They kind of cooled off. Utah's really good. That would be crazy if they somehow pull out something and get him on top of everything else they have on chemistry wise, and you just throw Blake Griffin in there for like 15 minutes a game. That they could also be a really, really scary team down the stretch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wild cards. Denver seems to be rounding into form. Jokic is playing out of his good Lord mind. Dallas is kind of floundering. Like that, I mean, they're kind of all in the middle there with the Kings, like 9 through 12. Like are kind of like they don't know what they want to be, hovering around 500. So there's a lot of moves. Like we talked about Blazers too. Blazers are making moves, but are they just the normal Blazers, the first round Blazers? Are they actually gonna get a little further this time?
Man. I just don't. I mean, they can get to the second round. They get to the second round pretty regularly. They might even get to the third because they can just catch fire and go. But that defense is going to doom them. Live by that jump shot, die by that jump shot.
Yes,
and the guys that can play down low get hurt all the time, which is the nature of
Carmelo. Carmelo's good for a couple
any
games.
Day now.
yes, he can't carry a team at this age anymore. He's good for your 15, maybe get you a 20-something point night, one point in a series, like on a mismatch. But there's not a lot of teams I feel like they out mismatch. Like again, the one team they could have maybe gone up against the Lakers last year in the bubble. The Lakers just figured them out. They just were like, oh, okay, fine. We're going to let Lillard do everything and we're just going to stop everybody else. And then that was like basically what worked. Like nobody else could get going and Lillard got tired and hurt himself. And then that was the series.
That's it. That's all it takes.
You just make the guy have to work so hard. That's why Curry and the Warriors and stuff, it's always going to be hard with him and not having Clay because if it's all you all the time, you're eventually going to get hurt. I mean, unless you're LeBron James, and you're built for that.
Yeah.
Your ankles and your quads and every other muscle in your body, it's just carbon fiber steel.
Yeah, it's and I think we wanted to talk about this since we're on the Trailblazers. We've got this Damian Lillard putting in work, and there's a controversy. Was he robbed of an all-star starter spot in the Western Conference 2020-2021 season? I have my thoughts.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are as follows. The NBA starters are voted on by fans, coaches, and players. 50% fans, and then 25-25 or something like that. And I don't know if you know about the Western Conference. There's a lot of good players in it. And there's only 5 starters allowed. And only 2 of them can be. It used to be a point guard and a shooting guard, and now it's just backcourt. And
now it's just anything.
You got to factor in being loved by your constituents. You got to have players that like it. You got to have coaches that like it, and you got to have fans that love you. And the fans are dumb. Klay Thompson was one of the top vote getters, and he hasn't played in a year.
Yes.
So
no, right. Everybody
nothing.
Breaks the system because they want to show that the system means nothing, and they do rightfully so. There's nothing,
was Yao Ming a starting center in the Western Conference for years?
No,
Yao Ming was the best center.
He was just popular. Yeah, it's a popularity contest. Now, yes, can you say is Dame more worthy than Doncic? Probably at this point, but is he more popular?
No,
probably not. No, probably not. And they want younger fans. it's not like Doncic is a scrub. Like his team is good. They're just not as good as Damian's playing right now. And like you said earlier, off the record, is that it's not like he's off the All-Star team. He's not a starter. Like, again, it's who you play with. You're basically Steph Curry. You'll come in when Steph Curry's not in the game. Steph's not going to play the whole game because they don't want him to get hurt. They're like, he's made of glass. You'll probably play more than Doncic too. Who knows? Like, it's all just for, just for show to get people to watch the game. That's all they want. They want the international people to watch the game. They want all the trendsetters, all the people follow to watch the game. If Curry gets snubbed, it would be the other way around, and it would be bigger. Like, so they're 1A, 1B. Lillard's great. He's got a terrible shoe company, but he's great. He makes a lot of money. He's in Portland, so that's what you get, unfortunately, just like Fox would get in Sacramento. It doesn't matter how good Fox is. Fox could be an MVP candidate. He's not going to get as much love as anybody in LA or New York or anything like that unless he's already won a championship. Like, nobody pays attention to you until you've already won. It's too late by then, unless you're just a phenom like Luka or something like that. So, yeah, take it for what it is. You have a chip on your shoulder. Go beat them, Dame. Calling you out. Hashtag come get some, Dame. Yeah. I don't mean it. Don't write a rap about me. That's fine.
But we need the promotion. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, go ahead. Yeah. Please dunk responsibly. Please dunk responsibly.
Yeah.
Or please dunk responsibly on Twitter.
No, please dunk pod.
Please dunk pod. Yes, that's. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Please dunk pod.
Yeah.
Find us.
So, what I said? I have something I thought of earlier, then I forgot what it was.
Yes.
You triggered my memory. It's regarding, and I love talking about it, sliding to our GMs, bad team management, bad team decisions. You mentioned Steph Curry being the love of everyone's life, I think is what you said word for word. And there was a time when Steph Curry was on the trading block.
Yes.
And the Warriors had to decide between Steph Curry, who is a living legend and one of the greatest shooters of all time, first ballot Hall of Famer, no question, except for back then, he had a question. He had weak ankles and weak wrists.
Terrible ankles. Yes, and he was in his second year, and so they didn't know what they were going to do with him.
The other option was a little jitterbug, a shooting guard named Monte Ellis. You may remember him, a little short firecracker. Goes hard to the paint.
All-star, yeah. He's
a lot of shots. Kind of.
He was part of. Yeah, he kind of helped him beat. He wasn't Baron Davis and all them, but he was part of that.
Yeah,
he was part of that. So.
He was the dreamy guy on the Warriors for all the ladies. It's just like he was a cute kid, like putting up points. But back then, people loved him, but the stat heads hated him. They said he was a terribly inefficient player who didn't help make your team better. And the Warriors were mocked for trading him instead of Curry.
Oh yeah, they were, because people had a commodity that they knew, and so they wanted Monte Ellis to stay. They wanted to trade Curry. Yes.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, there's another team that had too many shooting guards and wasn't sure what to do. The team, I'm sure you could figure out where I'm going with this. That team. They didn't trade anyone. They lost them for nothing. No. They had a choice. We've got these two high-paid shooting guards, one of whom is a statistical darling, and one of whom has one skill set that probably won't maintain, and one that is truly terrible. Makes it so he doesn't make his team better. I'm sure no one can figure out what I'm talking about. Buddy Hield and Bogdanovich and our Sacramento Kings.
Oh, so many shooting guards. Good Lord. But yes, I feel like they won the trade. Obviously, if you're talking about the Cousins trade, they definitely won that trade. It was the best thing Vladdy has done as a GM. Yes, the mistake that could have been by the Warriors is obviously they're kicking themselves whoever even got on the phone with that guy can't be on the Warriors anymore.
Yeah.
It could not. And if he has his job, he's kissing the floor every day. Yeah, it's insane, but it's amazing what, again, how much people actually know about the game and how much they actually don't, because you just don't know what's between the ears, what people are how much they're willing to work, how good they're actually going to be later on. All of those things. Mark Jackson leaving the Warriors, and then them getting
what's going to happen?
An unperson like Steve Kerr, who hadn't done anything besides be a GM. And then he wins the title the next year. Like, it's like, what?
Yeah, sets records wherever he goes.
Yeah. So who's but they're light years ahead. Light years ahead of everybody.
But here's the worst part of all of this, Phil, is as we're talking, I realized my comparison was not Buddy Hield and Bogdanovich for the Kings. It's we've got a situation on the current Kings.
Yes.
We have this logjam at the bigs.
At the power forward.
We've got this young upstart, Marvin Bagley, who we've talked about. Bag on Bagley. Hashtag bag on Bagley. Putting in work, getting boards, getting points, becoming a more efficient scorer, but still a sieve on defense. So again, the stats kind of don't like him. Versus Rashawn Holmes.
Plus minus is terrible.
Who's unbelievable plus minus.
Unbelievable.
Just energized. The team looks different. The energy's different. The interactions are different.
They like playing with him. They get him the ball because he works on both ends.
He works on both ends.
Yes.
And he's up for a new contract, and they're not even in discussions. What are they doing? What is happening? Secure him. Secure the bag, Kings.
They're gone.
They're gonna choose Bagley.
He's gone.
They're
gonna choose Bagley. Yes, they're gonna hold on to Bagley unless they again get some crazy trade or they are in the playoffs and they're like set, the 7th or 8th seed, and they can really make a push. And somebody wants to trade, a veteran, somebody on the way out for him, and they can trade into that's the only way. And the only thing that also happens with the Kings is because they are terrible at making trades, just like another team of mine that I love, the San Francisco Giants. They don't make trades with people, so they don't have, the A's, as much as you want to say about them, they constantly get players for people because they had interactions with teams already. So then it's like, oh, we'll hook you up in 2 years. Oh, we'll give you this, we'll give you, what's the guy who went to the Cubs and won, and he was a Boston Red Sox for a second. Good Lord, I can't think of him to save my life. But yeah, they were able to make trades like that, and that's how you do it. Like in the league, your GMs have to be friends with other GMs to get the hookup. That's how the Lakers have done it for so long, and that's why they end up getting veterans and stuff all the time on top of the Illuminati. That's how they win champions.
And a lot of the NBA GMs are former players, and there's few players more loved by fans and hated by his opponents than Vlade Divac.
Oh my God, yes.
The king flopper. Do you think he's making trade offers? Think they're flop trade offers? I'm just gonna sell this and see if they fall for it. No, Vlade.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I have no. Yeah, he's like, I had no. Somebody will say yes to the trade, and he'll be like, no, I'm not gonna give you that. No,
I got you. No one's falling for these tricks.
It's like how he was able to get New Orleans to take Boogie Cousins. I'll never.
Oh, you sell him on the Twin Tower. Everybody loves a Twin Tower, man. Everybody loves a Twin Tower. That high-low.
Even Anthony Davis couldn't make
two
that
centers
work.
with size and distance. You can't pass that up, except for the fact that neither of them can stay healthy. And one definitely wants the ball, and one pretends he doesn't, but totally does.
Yes, exactly. Who had to be the passive aggressive? Davis.
Yeah. And then there's aggressive.
And again, he's not a 1A. Obviously, LeBron has showed you that, on time and time again. He can't carry a team. Hopefully, he'll learn from LeBron to be able to be that veteran later. But it just shows what a LeBron is, what a Kobe is, what a Jordan is in comparison to everybody else. Is that you make your teammates better. Like Durant's trying to be this watered down version. I still don't believe in it. Again, he's a great player, but he's not even into LeBron discussions. Like he's not, because of what he does for teams is not the same thing. He's a clear 1A weapon. Yeah. Like that's the weapon that you want no matter what. You're going to win most games.
Yeah.
But that he's not going to orchestrate. He doesn't make the team.
I think it's fair to say that LeBron is like Scottie Pippen to the maximum. And LeBron and Durant is like George Gervin to the maximum. That's not an insult.
No.
A dude who can get his points, get to his spots, has a decent mid-range game, some floater game. Like he's intimidating.
He matches everybody. Like he's Dirk. He's Dirk on roids, basically. I would say he's like Dirk could shoot anywhere, but he didn't have the athleticism that Durant has. Like Durant has this crazy amount of athleticism that for his size that allows him to do so much more. But again, he's not a great passer. He's getting better at defending because now he's on teams where he could be the second or third shooter at any given time. So he could just sit back now, which again, he's smart. He's playing his cards. You know, he's playing the game the way LeBron's playing it. That's how the players are going to do it now. But like, he's not on the list. Like, he's fine, but he's not on the list for me.
Yeah.
Like, he's not in the top Mount Rushmore for me, but he's close.
He's good. He's great.
Yeah.
Love to
top
have him.
10 player.
Love to see him back.
Probably top 10 player. No doubt.
The league's better with him than without him.
Yes, if he went to the Kings, I'd be the first person to get a jersey and be like, "We're going to the playoffs." I'm so excited, but to tell me like he's better than telling me he's as good as LeBron or something like that is like obviously not. It's not even close. That gap is so wide. It's so wide, but it's like he's also way above everyone else in the world.
By the way, congratulations, LeBron. 35,000 points.
Oh,
hit it the other day.
Unbelievable.
Good for you.
Oh, yes. Good for you for playing forever.
That's just so we're clear. It's playing basketball and scoring a point a minute for 600 hours.
Yes.
Professionally.
Unbelievable. That requires health, being really good enough to start as a rookie forever, and then being a great scorer and never being a scoring leader.
Yeah.
He never once led the NBA in scoring, and I know he could. Yeah. But again, that just makes him so much better. Is that he just rather have that 25, 8, and 8. Like he's gonna get. That's what he's giving you.
And the two guys ahead of him, Karl Malone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they're there for their points. They were
scoring leaders. Yes.
Great as they were. Like massive men doing incredible things on both ends of the floor. Very smart, incredible NBA IQ. But on offense, they weren't passers.
Speaking of Durant, just shooting threes upon like any mountain everywhere. We like Canning Treys because we get to talk about 3 cans of beer that we really, really like. And I will let you go first, sir.
All right. So I'm going to do a Canning Treys first. I'm going to go ahead and not pick a beer available in cans. We're kicking it old school, 22-ounce bombers. Remember those things?
My.
Bombing from 22 feet. Remember the three-point line was shortened for no reason? That was terrible.
Why'd they do that? That wasn't terrible.
It was supposed to be more exciting, but it wasn't. Like, imagine a short three-point line now. That'd be crazy.
Nobody would stand on it anyway. They already stand 50 feet away.
Yeah. All right, so let's move this thing, not a 22-ounce bomber. It's a 23.6 ounce bomber. You know him. You love him. If you've listened to us, if you're a Please Dunk Responsibly OG, you know this brewery, New Helvetia.
Yes.
With their Mystery Airship 2.0 second anniversary beer. They're on their 8th anniversary, but they always re-release this around their anniversary. The chocolate porter, it's like a spicy chocolate from Ginger Elizabeth. It's one of the best beers I've
Oh,
ever had.
yeah, it's one of the best beers I feel like they've ever made, and it was, and of course, so good when you add a pure ingredient like Ginger Elizabeth, local chocolatier, just kills it.
Yeah.
Just absolutely kills it.
I used to live like a block from there. It was great and terrible.
Oh my God! Yes, yes, I can only imagine.
Yeah. Excuse me, it's an imperial porter. Let me correct that. I just said porter.
Oh yes,
it's an
obviously,
imperial porter.
it's imperial. Yes,
truly wonderful.
In a bomber. A bomber, it's got to be an imperial porter.
Get it.
Get it, taste it. It's delicious. It's worth it. It was around Valentine's Day always. It's just delicious. Just get the beer.
Yeah.
Mine is going to be outside of our realm. Speaking of 3 Point, we're way downtown. Mine's from Pizza Port because I love them so much. Speaking of old school, one of the old school like breweries in San Diego of all time, but they're readily available everywhere and they still make solid beer, people. Don't forget the old school. They take care of you. They're solid. You can come to them every time. They're going to have something good for you. You're going to remember what it tastes like, and it tastes good. Theirs is Taste for Venture. Their IPA is a mosaic-based IPA. It is so delicious. Find it in stores where you can. And on a value, they're 16-ounce cans, and they come with 6 of them for the same price at most places I've seen, as much as any craft 4-pack, or if not cheaper, like at $15, $16 for a 6-pack. It's unbelievable. Tastes great. Tastes like the first time I tasted it. I was so happy. I'm telling everybody, find it, grab it. It makes you ready for summer. It's cold as balls outside. Drink it.
San Diego, the original IPA town. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Don't let Portland try to get their feet in that conversation. No. It's
wrong.
Yeah, it's don't let Sacramento put their feet in it. Like, we won the first gold for IPAs in the Great American Beer Festival. And then we won it again the second time. Don't let them talk to you. San Diego, the original home of the IPA.
Yes, please. Yes. They are the ones that inspired Pliny, all these to become great. They were old school, been doing it since the cows came home in the first part. They're killing it again. Wouldn't necessarily recommend the pizza as much, but the beer is outrageous. I mean, it's a brewery that has pizza more than it's a pizza place that has beer.
Now, this is a question that I've known the answer to, forgotten the answer to, known the answer to, forgotten the answer to plenty of times. But there's another brewery down in San Diego called Port Brewing. They were the same at one point, right? And then they
were. Yes. And then they're the ones who did like Santa's Little Helper, Hop 15, all those. Yes. Yeah. I miss those beers all the time. But yes, they eventually split. And so there's a Port Brewing and a Pizza Port.
Yeah, and they're completely different. They are not tied to each other.
No.
However, Port has since fractured into 3 separate entities as well.
Yes.
You've got Port Brewing, you've got Lost Abbey for their Belgians and sours, and then you've got THC, the hop concept, for their hoppy beers. It's not hard to keep track of. What are you talking about? Why are you asking me this question?
Yes, use the internet. Follow things. Find a beer. That's harder to find, but than it used to be maybe 10 years ago. But I love me some Port Brewing, older viscosity. They made some of the best dark beers I could get in a 22 bomber. Like, underrated brewery by all accounts. Find them, drink them. They're also good. That's a bonus.
Is there a NBA team you can think of that kind of fits that idea, the splinter, kind of maybe moving around or changing their name? Is it the
Hornets?
Oh, the Hornets. Okay. I kind of like that because Charlotte, then New Orleans, then back to Charlotte, completely different teams. And they're actually not tied to each other anymore. The original Hornets are not tied to the current Hornets. That's a good point.
Yeah, I have the Hornets as that team that's like changes. What were they? They're the Bobcats.
Oh, yeah.
And then they came back, and now they're the Hornets again. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably what reminds me of them.
That's good. I was starting to get to the Washington Bullets because they were ABA, NBA, previously the Wizards, and now just straight trash.
Yes, no doubt. They are as irrelevant as ever, unfortunately.
They've splintered into 3 parts currently. It's Bradley Beal, Westbrook rest of team.
Yes.
So,
Oh God.
if we're gonna play the game, I guess it's Bradley Beal is your Lost Abbey, and then Russell Westbrook is the hop concept because it's new and it's like kind of going against the rest of the thing, but like it's got some interesting things going on. People like it, and then the team is just Port. Boom. But no, yours
exactly.
is better.
No, right. I get it. You're going way more meta than me.
Yeah.
But yes. Okay. Do we have anything else?
Well, we haven't done.
Life is calling.
Life is calling. As we need to do our Is It the Gueuze? Our favorite dunks of the fortnight. I'll go first. I'll give you time on this one. I love a little bit of David and Goliath action, so I'm going to take Josh Jackson of the Pistons, driving baseline, double pump, two-handed dunk against the Nets. Was it against their starters? No, it wasn't. Was it beautiful to watch, powerful, and fun? 100%. Great dunk. Love it.
Oh,
you're going to give me a double pump? Come on.
It was pretty nice. No, it was nice. And you know what I go with? It's who is dunked on Giannis. Hashtag dunkongiannis.com. I want all of this. It's Rudy Gobert. It's Rudy Gobert this week. He is now the new slayer of Giannis, who just keeps just asking for it. He can't not be under the basket. So more people are taking exception and just dunking all over him. It doesn't just start with most centers or anybody with any athletic ability dunking on him. It's Gobert coming with a one-hand reverse, and he just stood there and let him do it. And it was very embarrassing. And Gobert probably cussed him out in French. I don't know what happened, but it looked embarrassing, and I enjoyed it. I think that was definitely the Gueuze.
Phil Webster asking the hard question, is Giannis the new Sean Bradley? Everybody gets a highlight. Is Giannis the new Nick Anderson?
Nick, there you go.
Is Giannis the new Nick Anderson of closing out games, because that dude cannot buy a bucket at crunch time.
Oh, dude, he had the worst bricks.
And they're so embarrassing.
All was made out of metal.
If we can get also, dude, he was an MVP 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a good player. He's a good player. Sometimes watching him go against, playing 5-on-1 sometimes, it's impressive.
Yes.
But I also...
Player of the Year and MVP in the same year.
Yeah. But he's giving up dunks. He's missing these shots at the end. It's not close. And just the casual airballing of threes with or without a defender in his eye you can't not talk about it.
No. And again, you want them to be, I do this out of love. I yell at him. It's not like Kyrie where I'm just over him on a dumpster fire. It's like I truly wanted Giannis to be the next great.
We just want
more. But he can't do it consistently. And then it's like he gets a lot of love because, he's in a small market, which is unlikely, but he has no personality really. He ends up in bad spots all the time and comes so small, and it just shows time and time again. Nobody eventually adapts to it and gets better. Like, you either have it or you don't. And it's like, do you need other weapons? Sure. It's like Damian Lillard, like we talked about earlier. He's great in the clutch, but can he carry his team and make his team better? No. So he only gets them so far if they have close games. Being clutch is great if you're in a close game, but if you get blown out, it doesn't matter how clutch you are if you're down 20 in the fourth quarter. So that's the difference between those two. It's like, I would rather, again, have the LeBron Jameses of the world, the Durants, something like that, who aren't who put your teams in ability to win close games, and then maybe they might pass it to a new version of Paxson of the world or BJ Armstrong or something like that Jordan had to make those shots down the stretch. He doesn't have to be the guy to make the shot. You just have to find somebody who can, and that's how you get your team galvanized, and they're always ready to play because you never know when that guy's going to have to make a shot.
And before we get out of here, I know you got to go because family's calling. Life is calling.
Life is calling. Life.
I do want to get a few things in here. First of all, I did pour a second beer. It's another Henhouse beer. The Walrus is Paul. We've been asking the question for decades now. When they say, I am the Walrus, who is the Walrus? And I think the question we can ask on a basketball level about the Beatles, it's not the Heatles.
No.
It's the New Jersey Nets, Brooklyn Nets. I'm aware of the change that happened a decade ago.
You're correcting yourself as you speak.
It's the Brooklyn Nets. Who is the point guard was the question of the week. Kyrie Irving, James Harden. They figured it out. It is James Harden.
Yes.
And this beer posits that the Walrus is Paul. Disagree. It's John Lennon. And
So we agree that it's Kyrie Irving then. Yes.
I don't. I feel like the point guard should be James Harden. He's going to distribute.
It should.
Kyrie does not distribute. He
it
never.
Sounds like that's the right answer,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like it's going to last playoff time.
I think it'll help. I think Kyrie's a great creator off the ball. I think he's going to do a lot more.
You think he's not going to forget that down the stretch?
Oh, of course he will. But I feel.
But what's the fun in that? You have to play the game, right?
Yeah, I feel like James Harden's like, finally I got some people I can depend on to create for themselves if my passes
right.
are higher.
I think he wanted somebody who can act like all of those guys got tired of losing and trying to carry a team by themselves. Just like LeBron, just like everybody else, they know that they needed extra. They know that they're going to get tired, that that not all of them are going to be able to put up 40 a night, and that they're going to need help. And they did that thing to come together. Now, whether you can make that work all the way through, again, the Heat with LeBron and Wade, it took a year. They got close, but they lost in the finals. So it's like it's not going to be as easy as they think as it goes down the stretch, because people just play differently. You're playing the same team who can plan against you, take people away.
They have no center.
They have no center. They don't play defense, but they just outscore you, and that usually doesn't result in half-court basketball in the playoffs when that's going to matter the most. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, especially if they're playing the Lakers.
You're playing 7-game series. Who's taking Adebayo? Who's taking Embiid? Who's taking Giannis? Who's taking Anthony Davis? Who's taking who's taking Kawhi? Who's taking Paul George? Who's taking Rudy Gobert? There's so many who's doing.
And again, like the Lakers have a lot of bigs who can switch and take any guys. Like this is what they do. Like, and who can sacrifice fouls and doesn't get Davis in trouble and stuff like, and LeBron in trouble. And so, like down the stretch, like that's where it'll be interesting to see, like who the Lakers add, who somebody else adds down the stretch. But yeah, they're all going to get tested. There's going to be, and so we'll see how it works out.
Our solution: get Blake Griffin. Figure out a way.
We'll see where he goes. Who gets Blake Griffin? That's who we'll see.
Get Andre Drummond. I mean, fine. That's actually fine too.
Yeah, that's also true. That's not a terrible 1B.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do it. The cost is not possible.
No, he's way more expensive, yes.
But and then we did briefly touch on the Bistro Double and Triple IPA Festival. It happens every year. It's a brand builder, name maker, king crowner event.
And brewer namer. It's always good to have those medals. Like brewers, like move around all the time. Sac got a lot of love, as you'll tell, and that's we're happy. We're happy about that.
Historically, do, and this is a contest that put Pliny the Younger, Pliny the Elder on the map. It's been around forever. Got knee deep on the map early on. We'll talk about that a little bit because the winner. Anyway, so it's double IPA, triple IPA, and now there's the hazy categories as well. Should point out with the triples, no winners from the local area.
No.
As happens. But I believe they don't really count. It's like regular and hazy now. But I don't quote me on that. I didn't actually do all the research. I read some names. I forgot the ones that didn't matter to me.
Well, stop lifting up our skirts. They don't need to see. Yeah, they don't need to know.
So
we were there like every other beer nerd. We were there.
Yeah. We know when everything happened.
We know when everything happened. We were there.
With the West Coast double IPA winners, that classic West Coast double, in gold. Oh, that's a Sacramento region beer. It's Moxa's Sticky Sips, which is a tremendous beer.
Yes, I'm happy for them. They've been winning awards, usually in the stout categories, not in their IPA. They definitely have stepped up their IPA. Shout outs to Corey and the crew on getting that stuff done. They're much respected. Got a ton of followers, and yeah, they make good beer. I hope if you can find it, try it. Juice Traveler 2 that they have is also great. Try their IPAs. They're definitely stepping up in those departments.
Yep. And in silver, the people who came in second, the first loser, no one remembers them, skipping it. But coming in bronze in West Coast Double IPA, Moonraker with Honorable Villain.
Yes.
Moonraker crushes those IPAs.
They do.
A true fact.
Yeah, they're just, they're the, I wouldn't call them the Patriots necessarily of Sacramento Brewing. They haven't been around that long, but they continue to make good beer, and they have again another following. I know they lost their brewer to open his own place, Slice Brewing out in Rockland, but they're still making good beers. Like they know what they're doing. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I believe Slice took gold last year in the triple IPA category. So,
yes.
Still doing the work.
Oh, yeah.
And we mentioned Knee Deep earlier. They also lost a brewer, and that brewer moved to Nevada. And then he came in this year and took home gold in the hazy double IPA. Yeah. We're talking about Jeremy Warren of Revision Brewing with his beer, Distance Haze.
Yeah. Killing it still. We miss him. I know he wants to come back to California.
He wanted to be in West Sac. He had a spot, and then
he did. I think it was a bargaining tool to get a better deal in Nevada. But I know what they've been dealing with COVID and all of that. That I know he's been also rethinking about coming back. So I hope the rumors are true. I hope he finds a spot, and he would instantly be in the top 5 brewers
in a very difficult battle. Very, very much the Western Conference of beer.
Totally, yes. He is a 4 or 5 seed, no doubt. Like right out the gate, without bringing anything to the table. Because he has a pedigree. He makes good beer, and I'd be excited, and it'd be great. For a region who we have just embarrassment of riches.
And then it's not technically Sacramento. Again, who won silver lost to the Sands of Time. No way to figure it out. There's not a website. But
number one accounts, that's all that matters.
Getting a bronze in the Hazy Double IPA. I know you love these guys. I know a lot of people love these guys. I was just down in Santa Cruz this weekend. It's Humble Sea.
Oh, yeah.
With Wizard of Fog.
Look, I love them. Yeah, they could not, again, call into the cool nerd category. Like, I just love brewers who just love beer to do it. Like, it's not a business. It's fun to them. They enjoy it. And they're good at it. And they could not be more personable. Those guys would hang out with you, drink beers with you, probably take you to the beach. Like, do whatever you wanted. Those guys are fantastic people. And they crush it every year. And I know they're supposed to be building some satellite tap rooms, like 3 or 4, like in their region. So good for them. Good for them.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at this name again from Moonraker, who we've mentioned has lost some brewers. And, their shine's kind of been worn off, but the beer name, Honorable Villain. What player to you is that honorable villain? Somebody you respect but you hate. Like, nobody liked him, but you respected him because of what he did.
Oh, I see where we're going with this. I think I'm going with like your twin tower. I thought it was always, when I was growing up and I was a Jordan fan, was Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley was he just was the Punisher. That's who he was. That's my first one that I ever knew, who would just go in there and just elbow people for no reason. Like, if you just go to the hole, he would literally just double axe handle you like wrestling moves
on the basketball court and get like 0 technicals.
Yeah.
It would just be a foul and a talking to.
Yeah.
Like they would split them up. There would be a fight almost every single time, and then it would just go back and you shoot your free throws. And that was just how it was. That's how it was.
Michael Jordan's best friend. Like off the court.
Yeah. And after court, yes. Everybody loves Oak.
Loves
they
him.
Call him Oak. They call him Oak. They Uncle Oak. Everybody like, oh my God, they love that guy. But it's like, do you want him on the other side? No, you do not want him on your other side. You want him to be your friend. You do not want to have to kick him out of somewhere. You want him to be fighting for your honor.
Yeah. And for me, I was trying to keep it modern, but I'm like, really, are there a lot of villains in basketball right now?
Not really. They're all friends.
Yeah, it's also buddy. There's nobody throwing down hard fouls. So I'm going to go honorable villain, Reggie Miller.
Ooh.
Everyone hates him, and he's an assassin. He kills you clean.
I loved him.
Oh, man, nothing like him. I think we talked about it.
Anybody who beats the Knicks, I loved. I think I just was a Knick hater. They all looked evil. Like Patrick Ewing looked evil. Like they just had that. He had the brow with the nappy flat top, and all those guys. They just looked like they were from Brooklyn, and then they were just gonna beat you all up. Like they look like Monstars.
Yeah,
the Monstars before the Monstars.
All right, I know we've kept you, but I need to do one more because I thought of it, and it's. Because we're on honorable villain, we've got to do the alternate name. This is like I don't know what kind of beer it would be, but it's the dishonorable friend. So a guy who looks real nice, but nobody actually likes. I've got 2.
Chris Paul.
Was that Chris Paul? People love Chris Paul. His teammates love
I feel
Chris
like
Paul.
Not a lot of people. He does a lot of dirty shenanigans.
Opponents of Chris Paul hate Chris Paul.
Yes. I don't think everybody loves Chris Paul.
Chris Paul teammates love
him.
He
looks like honorable, but he'd hit you in the nuts. He would hit you in the nuts.
Okay. I'm coming around. I see where you're coming from. Everybody respects like his talent, but like, he does some cheap stuff. It's like, come on, man. But I thought, to me, this stuck out real clearly. I'm going to give you my least obvious, and then I'll give you my most obvious. My least obvious of my 2, Alonzo Mourning.
Ooh. Least obvious.
Yeah,
I think everybody loved him.
Everybody loved him, but he was a dick. He truly hated, like his teammates hated him.
Yeah.
He was always about his stats. He broke up the Hornets, for wanting money that
he was like the anti-Ewing in a way.
Yeah, from the same school, both Georgetown boys.
Yeah.
Under the radar, dishonorable friend. But this one, you're gonna be mad, Phil.
Oh no!
The number 1 dishonorable friend.
Don't you do it to me,
Dwight Howard.
I'm not upset at that. You're right. No, you're right. No,
friendly to
I
your
thought you
face.
said Chris Webber or something.
No.
Like then it would hurt my heart.
Friendly to your face, an asshole in reality. Like this good Christian man who's got 9 kids with 8 women. Like just no. Like he's like, no, I'm cool with everybody. I want out. Give me my touches.
Yeah.
Like just.
Yeah, he kind of showed his. Kobe kind of called him out, and he was right. Like as much as I had problems with Kobe, effort to win at all costs, even if it meant throwing people under the bus. He did really show Dwight Howard for who he was, and everybody was like, no, Kobe's right. Like this, like nobody came out of Kobe and was like, respect Dwight. Like, what are you talking about? And everybody's like, oh shit, maybe. All right, so we can say that now? Are we agree? So,
do it.
Yeah, Kobe threw him out on the carpet, dude, and he owned it like years later. So you were correct. I think he's a changed man. He won a championship last year.
Then he left.
And then he left. Yeah. Well, he took the money. I don't blame him.
Yeah,
the money.
like a dishonorable friend.
He's got 9 kids, he said.
Yeah, he's got mouths to feed.
Yeah.
But look, love is love, and sometimes it's fleeting. I'll put that out there I don't care. Live your life, but it's also stop being a two-faced bastard.
Yes.
I get it, but stop. And all right,
yes.
we got to go.
Kids. Yes.
Phil Webster, where can people find you? What's going on?
Oh, Culinary Lando, still doing posting food, posting beer. We're trying to get through this pandemic, people. Wear your masks. Get vaccinated as soon as you can. And so we can go back to normal stuff and like start going to basketball games and drinking beers in person and all that good stuff.
Yeah. And handing out business cards for this podcast so people can know to listen to it.
Tickets and stuff. Yeah, that would be nice.
We'll do it, but
do some live podcasts. That would be fantastic.
No, that would be dope. I would love to get back to that. And then for me, it's Ben Rice. You can follow me across social media at Barley and Me Pod. Don't forget to follow Please Dunk Responsibly at Please Dunk Responsibly on Instagram, at Pliz Dunk Pod on Twitter. Slide into those GMs. You want us to compare people to things. We'll do it. It could be anything. You want me to compare an actor to a toy from our childhood? We'll do it. We've got no shame. No, it's beer and basketball.
No, we have no shame. We'll do any brewery from anywhere. We will do our research. By doing research, we will look on the internet for 5 minutes and discuss. But yes, get at my buddy Ben. He's on every podcast. He's whoring us out. Like, just keep him busy. We need to do more podcasts. We're getting on it. Sorry, this one's late for our lovely followers, but
we'll make it up to you.
We're making up to you. We're going to do another one real soon. So, All-Star Edition. It'll be great.
If you need more Ben Rice, you can go ahead and check out Drink Something, Say Something, which Phil, you've also been on. So we both got episodes. You can get more of us on that. My Henhouse Instagram Live was from last week. You can check that out on their Instagram, Henhouse Brewing. And just for fun, Tangents with Spencer Sellens I was on recently. So that's another one we can do there. I feel like I did one other thing. Just all over it. Check out cacraftbeerweek.com/beerzen. Go to the Sacramento Area Brewers Guild to donate money to help support the craft beer industry as well as restaurateurs and service industry workers through the end of February. I've got hella videos. You won't know that they're mine. I filmed them for like 10 breweries. Crushing it to help raise funds. And then if you want even less of me, which I understand, I am currently producing and engineering a podcast with two comedians, Tavi and Becky Lynn, where they answer listener questions with humor, wit, and insight. It's called It's Crazy You're in My Business. Check that one out. It's about a half hour. Easy listening, super funny.
Easy listening, yes. Easy listening. I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot.
So that's the episode. I want to thank you so much for listening. And before we go, I'm Ben Rice.
And I'm Phil Webster.
Telling you to please dunk responsibly.